Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video let's speak about the goddess Anat, which is a huge topic and a huge goddess. She is the goddess that were worshipped in Canaan. She was the goddess of the Phoenicians, of the city of Ugarit. She also was the goddess of the Hurrians. I'm going to read for you briefly from Wikipedia. Most researchers assume that she originated in the Amorite culture of Bronze Age Upper Mesopotamia, and that the goddess Anat with H attested in the text from Mari and worshipped in a city sharing her name located in Shuhum should be considered her forerunner. So Anat is the goddess of war and hunting. She is originated in the Amorite culture. If you're interested to know, read about the Amorites. And she was the goddess that we know from the Ugaritic text, from the city of Ugarit. She was a very important goddess. She was the main goddess in the Baal cycle. If you're interested to know about the Baal cycle, you can read about this. I have a video about the Baal cycle, which is very interesting. So we can see that she's a form of Hurrian goddess as well. She's a Semitic goddess and a Hurrian. She's mentioned in the text of the Baal cycle and the tale of Akat, and there are also a lot of incantations and spell that mentions her in the texts from Ugarit. So she is someone who helps against witchcraft, against evil eye. She's the goddess of hunting as well and war, as we know. And she's also mentioned in a fertility text with the god Baal. Anat is the helper of Baal. She is considered to be a very positive goddess. She's the patroness of human beings. She is considered to be also the mother of the Phoenicians. She's considered to be kind of a sea goddess as well. She is conflated with Astarte a lot. They are like the same goddess, but they're different. Astarte is more of a sexual, fertility, beauty, peace goddess, and Anat is more of a war goddess of anger, of hunting. So Anat is mentioned in the Baal cycle as the one who is always helping Baal. She's fighting his enemies. She's helping Baal. She's considered to be a very feisty goddess, very aggressive. She do not afraid of her father. When she wanted to get her goal, she came to the god El, who is the father of the gods, and she basically threatening him to give permission to Baal to build his palace. So she's not afraid of anyone. She's very, very straightforward. The goddess Anat also fights with the god of the dead, Mot, when she mourns Baal, when Baal is going to the underworld. She's angry at Mot, and she's coming to the god of the dead, and she's burning him with fire. She's chopping him to pieces and scatters his body everywhere. She's very angry at him, and then Mot is complaining to Baal that because of you I was humiliated by Anat. So it's very interesting. You should read those myths. So in the tale of Akat, Anat is wanting the bow and arrow of the hero Akat. She's trying to negotiate with Akat and telling him, give me your bow and arrow and I will give you immortality. And he is mocking her and mocking the fact that she's a woman and what kind of a woman is hunting. So she's getting very angry and basically she kills him. So very interesting information, because here we clearly can see some woman's behavior of being a hunting goddess, of being a war goddess that probably was not so familiar with the people. And Anat is this feminist goddess. She considers to be a virgin goddess. She do not have any partner. She loves Baal. She mourns him. There is a text where they're helping with fertility, so they look like they're together, like they're a couple. But overall, she's a virgin goddess. She do not have a spouse. The goddess Anat equivalent with the goddess Athena. She's a war goddess and a virgin goddess that do not have any partner or spouse. But goddess Anat is always there for Baal, and Baal is the good god, is the god of order, the god of agriculture, the one who bestows life. So she is helping him to defeat his enemies, and she mourns him, and basically she's always helping him. Now, the goddess Anat also was worshipped in Egypt. She came to Egypt with the Hyksos, who were Canaanites, who came to Egypt and were ruling Egypt for some time. And she was the protective goddess of Ramses II. Anat is considered to be also the mistress of animals because she's the goddess of the hunt. And also she's considered to be a goddess who gives sustenance and nurturing. She called Ruchmiya as well, the goddess who is the merciful goddess. She depicted with wings, as most of the Mesopotamian goddesses. So she have the capabilities of flying. And also there is a myth about her where she is preparing a feast for soldiers. So she preparing chairs and table for the soldiers, and then she's killing them. And this is the mystical meaning of war itself. Now, the researchers, when they started to learn about the Ugaritic text, they had very Abrahamic religious mindset. So they always view the Ugaritic text as something very negative, as Anat being a very cannibalistic goddess, as the gods of the Canaanites were very greedy. And this is a very Abrahamic religious mindset. As time passed, things changed, but the mystical meaning of this is that she represents war. It's not, we do not see gods as people, as persons. They are energies. So when we are speaking about war, when we see this goddess as the energy of war, this is how she's depicted like. So she is preparing chairs and a table, and she's killing those soldiers. And she's happy with all of the blood and the dead soldiers and the bodies. And this is a very similar depiction to the goddess Kali, which we have in India. And their depiction, the goddess Anat and goddess Kali, have very, very similar identification because they're both depicted as having skulls on their selves and body parts. I'm distracted because of my cat. Now, another interesting fact is that in Gaza, they used to celebrate a celebration for Anat, which is very interesting because in Gaza we have war all the time. So what a coincidence. And Gaza is very close to Egypt, so I guess we have all of this Egyptian association as well, because she's very similar to the goddess Sekhmet, to the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet as well. So she also has similarities to the goddess Sekhmet because the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet is the goddess that is going to a killing rage and killing people and drinking blood. So I find it to be also very interesting that a few years ago I read an article that in Gaza actually the statue of the head of a goddess was found, and they associated with the goddess Anat. Now, please don't go there. The Palestinians got nothing to do with goddess Anat because the Arabs, they're Muslims. They believe in Allah. It got nothing to do with ancient times. This is just a specific location that is having war energy and is dedicated to the goddess Anat, which I find it to be very, very interesting. Now, Anat receives a lot of sacrifices, just like the other gods. So she received a lot of sacrifices of rams and bulls. So she's not a vegan goddess. She's the goddess that eats meats and blood, of course. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, it's not going to work. So before the war, goddess Anat is adorning herself with henna and perfumes and with makeup, very similar to the goddess Ishtar. But Ishtar is a goddess that is holding both sexual energy and as well as the war energy. When Anat is only the hunting and the war, but also she has the fertility aspect as well. So coriander, henna are associated with her. Murex shell as well, as the Phoenicians used to take the color purple from the murex shell. So she adorned herself probably in purple as well. Purple got to do also with wine. And perfumes are associated with her. And she also washes herself with the rain of Baal. So she purifying herself after the war. So she's a very goal-oriented goddess, the goddess of war, the goddess of the hand. She represents the spark of life, the energy, the fire, the aggressiveness. This is why she is connected to the god Baal, because we cannot look at gods as we are looking at people. We can personify them, but they are still energies, they're different. So when we're talking about the mystical meaning of Anat and Baal, Baal is connected with her because she's the goddess of war, and he's also going to battle. So she's standing next to him. So Anat also helps Baal to receive what he wants, to receive his permission to build a palace. And she's a very fascinating goddess. You can read about her a lot. Also, she's connected with horses and lions and with lilies, the flower lily. Also, the goddess Anat considers to be a very beautiful goddess. She's a youthful virgin goddess. So she's similar to the goddesses like Kali in India, to Ishtar, to Athena. This is the energy of a war goddess and a goddess of the hunt, the goddess that will make you to accomplish your goals. Very fascinating goddess, very amazing, big protective goddess as well. So especially in those times of war, I think we should all seek help from the goddess Anat.